Greetings, family. How y'all doing? Do you miss me yet? I really thank you for allowing me to take off yesterday. Those 7 hours would have been very taxing on me. I intend to give you a report tonight. Today is a week. 7 days ago, I was operated, and it was a little brutal. But here we are continuing to be with you, and I praise God for that. Welcome to another one of your Frank 26 UB Tubies. Tonight, it is an infomercial followed by dessert, and it is on our product called Anovate. Am I saying that right, Jen? Yeah, Anovate. I like to say that. And this is a product, as I told you before, ladies and gentlemen, that I am taking. I'm taking. You know what I'm going through. When the doctor first told, in fact, well, we still have one more day in this month, but next month I will complete 1 year. 1 year. And they told me that I would only live for 4 months, but the good Lord has given me the ability to live longer. And He's also given me understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. Yeah, I take this product because I have understanding, wisdom, and knowledge, and that's what we want to share with you tonight. I'm not making any claims that this is, going to heal this, that, whatever. But I am going to tell you that I take this, and I know why I take it. I'd like for you to also understand that reason. Tonight we bring in John, who's going to introduce us our wonderful Dr. Kleinsmith, and then we also have a guest tonight that's going to ask or give you a testimony. And then when they're done, I'd like to open it up because last time you all had many, many, many questions. Take advantage. Take advantage of Dr. Kleinsmith with us tonight and listen to what they have to say right now in the testimony, and then write down your question. Many of you had some very, very... Somebody asked last time that they were with us, I'm lacto intolerant. Can I take this product? Good question. You should ask it again tonight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in John, who will bring in the doctor and our testimonial guest tonight. John, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am, Frank. And I just want to thank you so much for, giving us a chance to talk about this wonderful product, Anovate, which means a new you. And I want to thank my friend that introduced me to this product. I'm like anybody. I'm 63. I'm semi-retired, and my health is an important thing. And I've been taking this for over a month. I think around 5 weeks now. And, like I said, I'm not making any claims, but all I can do is tell you what it's done for me. And in that time, my energy has skyrocketed. My wife's calling me the Energizer Bunny. And I'm getting up earlier, and I'm not needing a nap during the middle of the day like I was. But the biggest thing for me is I'm focusing. I've always had a little attention deficit, and here lately, it's just a noticeable difference in everything that's done. And feeling better is always a good thing. And if anybody wants to, when we're over, your link for the products and all is on the website, your site. And but if anybody has any questions or whatever, they can always give me a call. I'm John Brewer, and my phone number is area code 479-414-5387. 479-414-5387. And my email is the number 71south@gmail.com. And, I'm not going to talk anymore right at the moment because I have a friend of mine who's a wonderful lady, Misty McBride, and I want to bring Misty in and just let her tell everyone what her experience has been with Anovate. Misty, are you there?
Hey, John, I'm here. I appreciate you guys letting me come on tonight to share my story. And my story starts back whenever I was a kid, and that I have always lived in pain, even from that, the child. I just thought everybody lived in the same kind of pain that I did. I didn't know that it was not a normal way of life. As I got older, and had some underlying health issues going on. The older I get, the more pronounced that those became for me. And found myself in a desperate situation trying to figure out, what I was going to do for myself, and dealing with, severe joint pain and, daily, pain in my head, and, unable to sleep, and all these things were, exacerbating other health issues. So a friend of mine had introduced me to the whole food approach. And I had tried everything else except for the whole food approach. And so my husband's actually the one that kind of encouraged me, to kind of go that route and then seek it out. And I did. And what I found was that after I got finished with a detox, that I felt better than I've probably felt in decades. And I'm pushing 50. And anyway, my husband and I, we have 4 kids. They're all grown now. And I needed to be able to keep up with my kids, and was having a hard time doing that. But started on some Anovite products, and like I said, went through that week-long worth of a detox, and then found myself being able to think clearly. My energy had, skyrocketed. I, wasn't dealing with all the pain issues that I was dealing with before, and I just felt great. And had come to learn that, as my body got the nutrition that it needed, because it was being deprived of the nutrition, that it began to kind of take care of itself and all these issues that, that I was dealing with. But as excited as I am for what it's done for me, what it has done for my son is even more of a blessing to me. And as I said, we've got 4 kids, my husband and I do, and our oldest son has Down syndrome. And he's dealt with issues his entire life as well, and it's kind of hard to make him understand that he needs to take this product. So I wasn't going to push it on him. But what was funny about it was, after he seen me taking it, and he kind of seen what it was doing for me, he got curious and he asked me to start giving it to him. So I did. And anyway, I wasn't going to butt heads with him over taking anything else, because they're have a little bit of a stubborn side, these Down syndrome people do, especially my son. So anyway, started him on these products, and we have lab work done with him often because of the issues that Daxton deals with. And when I started him on these products, I started to see changes in him also, where he had more energy and he just looked better. Just overall, he just looked better. And so whenever we would start having his lab works done, at various, appointments, for the first time ever in his life, I was starting to see things come into a normal range. And that was pretty exciting. And to see what it has done for him, and to kind of see his overall health turnaround, is what keeps me passionate about sharing Anovate with other people. And I appreciate you letting me come on here tonight and share my story. And if I can do anything to help anybody, then just let me know.
Thank you so much, Misty. And like I say, these products, I mean, there's nothing wrong with giving your body pure nutrients, the things that it is craving. And right now, so we give him plenty of time, I would like to introduce my friend, Dr. Anthony Kleinsmith, who is the formulator, founder of Anovate, a gentleman that has 2 PhDs and knows a little bit about nutrition. Frank, are you ready to open up for Q&A?
Oh, you're ready to? Okay. Well, let's see if we can get people. I think we caught them off guard. Ladies and gentlemen,
well,
you go ahead.
Dr. Kleinsmith can talk a little bit about
Yes, I want him
first, and give them a chance to get their questions in.
Please, I want to hear from the doctor in the sense of his company. He loves his company. He has great pride in this product. I want to hear his voice promote his product. So yes, please say a few words, and then we'll open it up to questions and answers. And family, please post some questions, because if you don't, then that's pretty much the end of this conference call. Okay, go ahead, doctor.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and Misty. I want to go into the base product. Right. Every building that is out there starts with a cornerstone. And our cornerstone is something that I've been known for nearly 30 years. I've written 4 books. I've sold 1.5 million copies of those different books around the world. And it is based on a whole food that the good Lord provides to every mammalian mother. It's called colostrum. Now, we call ours colostrum 6, and that 6 is really important because not only does it represent the 6 major components that are found, like the casein, albumin, lactose, fat, ash, and protein, but it also represents a time frame. You see, there's a book out there called The Fundamentals of Dairy Chemistry, and it shows that this 0 to 6 hours is true colostrum. Anything after that is what they call transitional milk. And then 72 hours after birth, you're actually buying it off the shelf. It's called vitamin D or 2% or 1% or no fat. Well, colostrum is a very different substance than milk. Matter of fact, colostrogenesis, or the making of colostrum, versus lactogenesis, or the making of lactose or milk, comes from 2 different parts of the cow. Lactose is always made within the mammary gland itself, right? That's where we get milk. Colostrum, though, is actually made 4 to 6 weeks prior to birth, and it's only dropped into that mammary gland for a very specific window. That's 0 to 6 hours. And then the mom starts to reabsorb it for her own benefits. Now, can we as human beings, we make sure, we started out long ago. As a matter of fact, we were written up in the Healthy Living magazine about just how we take care of the calves that are out there. So for all of you folks that say, well, geez, are you taking them away from the calves? No, a mother cow will actually produce anywhere from a low of 6 quarts to as much as 14 quarts, depending on how old the cow, how many birthings she's done, how healthy is the cow. We ensure that the calf gets at least 2 quarts. Why? Because if you don't, there's an 85% sickness or mortality rate. Now, we don't want any of that, right? We want to make sure that those baby calves are taken care of. We'll take the remainder, though. And that remainder is where the 172,000 scientific studies show that colostrum can promote cardiovascular health, support immune system, promote gut and gastrointestinal health, help support healthy blood pressure, promotes healthy liver, promotes weight loss and healthy metabolic function, promotes a healthy circulatory system. And this is just the short list, right? Cognitive and youthful muscles, and there's a long list of other benefits that it helps to support and promote, right? So where do those come from? Well, if you look at the different constituents, the different nutrients, there are 700 found within true colostrum, as long as you don't remove the fat. Now, some people might go, but I don't want the fat. That's not a good thing. That's what I've been told. Well, folks, there's good fat and there's bad fat. Colostrum has good fat. It works on your good cholesterol and helping to raise it and reduce the bad, right? But there's a host of these other things. Those 700 plus reasons to take colostrum are built into those 700 plus nutrients that repair, rebuild, regenerate literally every system in your body. So let's go into just a few of those things. Things like the whole food natural growth factors. These are not isolates, right? But this is where that synthetic group called HGH, that's where they came up with the HGH side of it. They actually isolated from colostrum IGF-1 and growth hormone. Well, why would you take an isolate that doesn't have all the cofactors that help keep that as a whole food when you can get the whole food? I like whole foods a lot better than I do isolates, right? Then you have thymosin, alpha and beta. It stimulates the activation and development and maintenance of your immune system. Now, let's go into that for just a second, because that was really important, especially what's going on today. When we're first born, if you put your 2 palms like you're praying and then open them up, you can literally fit a brand new baby in those 2 open palms. And if you're a man and you close your fist, that size is just about, maybe a little bit bigger than that, but not much, the size of a baby's chest cavity. Well, the largest organ that is in that baby's chest cavity when they're first born, it's not the heart, it's not the lungs, it's the thymus gland.
Oh.
Well, throw in environmental factors and pollutants and bad foods and all the rest, that thymus gland goes from the size of a small navel orange to, by the time you're 55, the size of a pea, and just a little strand of tissue thereafter. Well, we started research on the at Cornell University that showed thymosin alpha, thymosin beta, and the captain of those natural growth factors, what they call IGF-1, you put those in a whole food state. And what we started to see, we need to do more research, but what we started to see was that we could actually bring that thymosin back to a normal functional state. Why is that important? The best offense we have is a great defense, or the greatest defense we have is the best offense. Now, offense and defense come in a fully functional immune system. Not overactive, not underactive either, though. We want to have balance.
I didn't know that.
Well, then you get into things like the immunoglobulins. These are antibodies that help protect mucosal surfaces, especially for a newborn baby. IgA is probably the biggest immunoglobulin or antibody that they produce. But you and I, as adults, produce copious amounts of IgG. For an adult, that's the biggest antibody. What about the IgA, though? Well, if it has a main focus on mucosal surfaces, like your lungs, like your gut, like your skin, if we take that and put it back into a deficient body because we produce very little as an adult, what we find is it has major impacts on the gut, on your lungs, and on your skin, right? Then there's some other things like leptin, which helps to suppress appetite and direct fat metabolism. And then you have things like vitamin-binding proteins, which help facilitate the absorption of B-complex vitamins, mineral-binding proteins that help bind iron and copper and calcium so that we actually absorb it and not just have it pass through. Well, these are just a few of the 700 plus different nutrients that are found in a whole colostrum. Now, when I say whole colostrum, it's important to know that you got to get the whole thing. Cornell University, a few years ago, went out and grabbed every colostrum in the world. Did not matter which company, did not matter which country. And they put out several letters about our product. And what they said in the very first letter was Anthony Kleinsmith's colostrum was the only one that tested and certified as true colostrum. All others, including New Zealand, tested and certified as transitional milk. Then I had a company that came after me and they said, we don't like that number 6 on your bottle. So Cornell put out another letter that said, after all of our testing, we certify that they are 6-hour colostrum. And then the country of New Zealand came after me. And Cornell sent out a third letter to the country of New Zealand and said, you're 100 years behind the times. That's right. Right? Now, if that's the cornerstone, what can you build with it? Well, literally, I've been known for colostrum for nearly 30 years. I've spoken in 44 different countries because of it. But I started playing with this little substance called fucoidan and Laminaria japonica in 1998. And I started looking at how colostrum, because of the lipids, because of the fats that are there, can actually help cross the blood-brain barrier with other things. It literally can be used as a carrier molecule. So I started putting different things together. And as an example, Laminaria japonica, it's a seaweed. If you go to the ocean and you pick up some seaweed and it's slimy, that's called fucoidan. It's that natural slipperiness. Well, I started playing with these different things and started adding, right? And it became such a product. It went way off the reservation. See, colostrum, think of it as a shotgun approach. I'm gonna shoot towards your body, and I'm gonna try to hit as many systems all at one time as I can. But your body is gonna use it where your body needs it the most, not necessarily where you think you need it the most. So you may find 20 different benefits before you ever get to the one that you're looking for. Where Limu Z is a different animal. It's like a laser. And it focuses on 4 major systems within the body: anti-aging or pineal, the endocrine or glandulars, right? All the glands in your body. The nervous system, in the fact of that cell-to-cell communication, a lot of cognitive stuff, mental stuff in there, memory, focus, that kind of thing. And then your immune system. But if you take the different constituents that are there, as an example, lemon, berries, and pollen, the last time that I looked at 20,000 plus studies. Fucoidan, 30,000 plus. Acetyl L-carnitine at 1,000 milligrams per dose is phenomenal with memory and clarity, the brain, the heart, muscles, and a host of other things like helping to support healthy blood pressure, healthy liver function, supporting the healthy circulatory system. Then you have what we call clinactololite. It's a type of zeolite or volcanic clay that helps to remove heavy metals and toxins. It helps to energize you. Then we put in things like acai berry pulp, which there's a lot of studies out there that show it's one of the best antioxidants out there. Well, the pulp gives you, again, all of that foundation, not just a portion of it. Then you throw in some other things like fucoxanthin. There are 19,000 studies that show fucoxanthin helps promote thermogenesis in a particular area around the middle, right? That tire that everybody has a tendency to carry around with them. It helps to support and overcome that insulin sensitivity. So those folks that may not be diabetic, but they may be insulin-resistant weight gainers, what you might find is that fucoxanthin might help you overcome that, because once you start taking these different building blocks and you put it into a depleted body, that body starts to respond with wellness.
Yes, it does.
So those are the 2 that I want to talk about. Remember, the cornerstone is colostrum. Everything that I make, except for I think one product, which is a liquid, but everything that I make has my colostrum in it. Why my colostrum? Why is it different? Number 1, it has not changed since 1991. I have not manipulated proteins, fats. I haven't manipulated anything that's there. I haven't taken something out like a lot of folks do and add something back in and say, ooh, it's better. I think the good Lord made the absolute best superfood in colostrum, as long as man hasn't degraded it and taken different things out. Well, I like leaving things alone, right? I keep it pure. And it's not just me saying that. It's not just Cornell University saying that with all the diagnostics and testing that they do. But it's also 130 international editorials written about us that show how instrumental colostrum can be to getting you back into that wellness state. And from there, I usually describe colostrum like a baseball diamond. Now, you have home base. I consider that the IGF-1 superfamily. Right across from that, you have second base. That I consider the 100-plus different, very specific immune factors. Cytokines, leukocytes, thymulin, thymosin alpha and beta, a host of different things that are out there. At first base, what I call the essential factors. Things that our bodies do not produce. We must get them from outside and bring them in. We used to get them through the nutrition that we got in our foods. We don't have that anymore. Things like essential fatty acids, essential amino acids, essential glyconutrients. Not 1 or 2, they're all found there, folks. Then on third base, you have what I like to call the basics and the metabolic factors, right? Vitamins, minerals, enzymes, the non-essential factors, and leptin, camp. So you have all these things that provide energy and help with that metabolic reaction that tend to keep us thinner, or at least in shape, right? Because I get a lot of folks that say, gosh, doc, I want to build lean muscle. Can we help do that? I helped Mr. Ron Williams come out of retirement at age 46 to win Mr. Natural Universe.
I know that guy. Yeah.
Okay? So that's the cornerstone. Now, the best-selling product that we have by far, literally, is Limousin. Why? Because it is like a laser. It doesn't take usually a lot of time before somebody says, "What did you just do to me?" Because literally, we did a 2,000 person survey a few years ago, and what we found was this: if I take it in the morning with one sachet, it comes in little single dose sachets, one sachet and 1 ounce of water, I have energy. There are no thermogenics in this, folks. There's no caffeine or guarana or yerba mate, nothing that should give you that energy. But it does. But at the same time, if you take it at night, it allows you to sleep like a baby. And you start dreaming. For those of us who are 35 plus, we know that we dream. We may not remember it, but we don't dream in color usually anymore. Well, Limousin does a reversal on you. Number one, you start dreaming again. Number two, you start remembering those dreams. Number three, they come back in color. And number four, if I was gonna throw a fourth one in, which is a little strange because I'm a 56-year-old man, I grew up with cowboys and Indians and John Wayne and Henry Fonda and all those folks in the movies. And that's how I dream, which is kind of fun, a little strange at 56, but you dream like when you were a kid. What does that tell you? That means that cognitive functionality is coming back to a youthful state. That's what Limousin, that's what our number one selling product does, because it's quick. In 30 minutes or less, 85 to 87% of 2,000 people said, I feel that product, and without any stimulants. Now, on top of all of that, we are our own GMP certified, FDA, USDA inspected production facility. We make everything. There are no middlemen here. I don't have to worry about somebody taking a lower percentage of, say, fucoidan and using it, because we make everything right here. Literally, we get the raw ingredients, we mix the raw ingredients, we test the raw ingredients, we mix the raw ingredients, we put them into the sachet. We have our own sachet machine. We do literally everything top to bottom right here on premises.
Whenever you're ready, Doctor, we'll ask questions now.
Done. Let's go.
Okay. Tink, are you doing a compilation?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind. Okay, I'm going to start. Why don't you read me the first one way up on top? Oh, it's from Adrian. Here you go, Doctor. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
This is a beautiful sister of ours that lives in Hawaii. And she says, I have a friend who has multiple myalgia. And she is 88 years old. In fact, tomorrow's my dad's birthday, Adrian. My dad turns 88 tomorrow. How about that? Anyway, she says she's 88 years old. She is in remission. Let's see here. I got it in front of me here. 80 years old. She's in remission in that she was able to get rid of the cancer from her blood, but she still has it in her bones. How can your product help my friend? She's very thin. What do you think, sir?
Now, remember, we don't practice medicine here, but any time that you have a decline in the body's ability to protect itself,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You open yourself up for negativity to come in whatever form that may be.
It's like a cut.
Well, there are very specific things, folks. If you go online and you go to, I love going to scholar.google.com because you can do a lot of research, right? You don't have to get on the NIH database or anything like that. And if you type in Hamlet, 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 like Shakespeare, and cancer, you're going to find some very fascinating information on what this little substance is. And guess what? It's found within colostrum. Now, that's just one piece to it, right? Because if you have an issue going on with your immune system, where you may have had some help, but it hasn't helped all the way, that's because your body doesn't have all the building blocks that it needs to take you the rest of the way. Well, that's where colostrum comes in. 700 different components that bring back to the body building blocks that you may be too old, no offense, but we all get there, right? We all have this ability to produce when we're young, and then as we get older, and older is not really, really old, older is like 30 years old, we start to take all those different enzymes and immune factors and other factors, and they start to diminish. Now, throw in stress, and you diminish those even quicker, right? Well, now take a depleted body and put those building blocks back in. Hamlet's just one of the things found within colostrum that can have a major impact on how her body handles the ability to get back on both feet, not just one.
Thank you, sir. In fact, Adrian has a follow-up. Let me see if I can find it here. Do you see the follow-up on hers?
I put it all in one.
Oh, you put it all in one? Well, that must be all about Adrian. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Tink. All right, doctor, the next question, it says, is this good for people with digestive issues? I think it's pretty self-explanatory that it is a super thing for, but go right ahead, sir. Answer the question.
Well, remember, I was talking to you earlier when I was describing colostrum. There's this little substance. It's an antibody called IgA. IgA is phenomenal for the gut, right?
Yes.
It helps to literally take all of the villi and all of the flora, and it has prebiotics and probiotics. But IgA is that underlying premise, that underlying support mechanism for any mucosal surface. So it actually helps promote gut and gastrointestinal health. As a matter of fact, people are starting to talk about the new brain, right? The gut biome. Well, that's one of the things that are found within colostrum that really support that gut biome, or that environment that we consciously think about 1 + 1 = 2. But for the most part, this other brain, this gut biome, this gut brain, if you will, is the thing that does all of that thinking for us. Well, IgA, the natural epithelial growth factors, and other things that are found within true colostrum, that all helps promote gut and gastrointestinal health.
Thank you. I tell you what, doctor, there's a lot of questions. Go ahead and answer them as quickly as you can. Here's the third question from Joey. That last question was from Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. Joey says, where is the colostrum from? A human, a goat, a cow?
Good question. We take it strictly from bovine or cows, strictly from the United States only. We do not only testing at the farm level to ensure that the farmers are doing what we ask them to do, but we also ensure that when we pick this substance up, we don't pick it up from a single farm. We pick it up from literally hundreds of farms, which gives you a much broader paintbrush stroke of health. So we take it from bovine or cows. We make sure that those cows are healthy. We do internal testing. We do external testing. And then we have things, I love third-party validation, like FPL Laboratories or Cornell University's laboratories or MTVL Laboratories, where we will ask those folks, go out there in the world someplace, find our product, buy it, test it, and that's what we want to release to the general public. Why? Because that doesn't give us any opportunity to spike the punch, so to speak. I love third-party validation.
Thank you, sir. From Brian, do you need to take all of the products, or can you just take one or two of them? I showed them the Colostrum 6, and I showed them the Limo powder. These are the two that I'm concentrating on right now. But what do you think, sir?
You know what? I personally, I take the capsules during the day. Why? Because they're easy, right? They're very easy to consume. I can put I take 15 capsules every day. One for all of the surgeries that I've had, especially on my knee. I've had 7 ACL reconstructs on my left knee alone, 3.5 inches of bone off the hip, cadaver grass, my own hamstrings, all on my left knee. Okay, so I when I was 28, I used to be an extreme skier. I folded the knee, and the very first surgeon was off by 1/8 of an inch when he drilled through my knee, and because of that, colostrum and with the help of the medical community, put me back on my feet, so to speak. Now that's the colostrum capsules. I also do the powders. Those are much more versatile. You can make protein shakes out of them if you just throw them in your protein. You can make smoothies out of them. I pack it in along the lining of my gums to actually help, because there's research on periodontal and gingivitis. Really good for the gums and the teeth. So the powder is much more versatile. I like that as that broad brushstroke, right? But then do I take my limousine? Absolutely. Now, I don't necessarily do it during the day. I like mine at night because of that sleep, that relaxation, that just factor. That's what I use my limousine for. And I do it about an hour before I go to bed. I'll take 1 sachet, 1 ounce of water, mix it up. That's effervescent, so you got to be careful about the mix a little bit. Down the hatch, and in an hour, my shoulders are relaxed. I'm able to sleep. And I just have this positive outlet. So when I get up in the morning, I'm ready to tackle the world again.
From Cody Pastor's wife, did I hear that this also helps with joint issues?
Very, very much so. Now, when I say I've had 7 ACL reconstructs, that was full blown ACLs, from my own hamstring to cadavers and everything in between. But I've also had probably several dozen orthoscopic surgeries where they've removed the soft tissue. Well, there was an article in the American Chiropractic Journal a few years ago where they thought that some of those natural growth factors, those whole food factors, would actually have an impact on soft tissue. Well, I'm one where I can say, for me, it absolutely has. For Winthrop Graham, 2-time silver medalist, it absolutely has. And a host of other folks who have put it to the test.
Thank you. Next question is from Karen. Do you have to have medical problems to take this? In other words, is it for everybody? Yes.
If you are breathing out there, I started giving colostrum to my kids. Now, this is going to sound like a strange statement. I was giving colostrum to my kids before they were born. Now, you might go, how did you do that? Easy.
Mom.
Whatever mom eats is what the babies are built on.
Amen.
Well, my wife was taking colostrum, and I have to tell you, all you ladies out there, how would you like to have each of our kids were sleeping through the night at 3 weeks out?
You just made Tink smile over here. Yeah, and family, you stop and think about it. When I was born, I'm sure the same with you, the very first thing that came to my lips was milk. Whether it was mammalian, my mother's milk, or whatever, but that milk, there's a process that starts inside of your stomach, inside your GI tract, and if you don't get it started, oh my word, your immune system will be retarded as you grow up. You'll end up very, very weak as a young kid, skinny, frail, etc., etc. You need all your systems in your body to be running at full capacity in order to be able to have a good homeostasis. Homeostasis simply is a big word that means that all your functions in your body are running at full capacity. It's embarrassing to stop and think about the way we eat. We destroy, we eat so much gluten, so much, and so much sugar. Those block the villi in your intestine that are trying to absorb the nutrients for your bloodstream, but you end up 24 hours every day absorbing nothing.
Yep.
The next question, yes sir, go ahead.
Even one step further with that one, there are two systems in the body that it may take several years before they actually 100% come online.
Yep.
One is your gut, and one is your respiratory system. Now think about what we're feeding, right? Those babies who are 2 years old. You're throwing chips and all kinds of other things at them. That's not helping balance, right? That homeostasis.
That was my biggest mistake, doctor. I used to, work late, and around 2 o'clock at evening, I would eat, my food, and that food contained so much salt. I believe that my eating habit, my lifestyle, was what gave me the disease that the Lord is helping me to conquer. Let the next question, by the way, is from Eric. My doctor has me on meds that have caused intimacy issues. Those initials. Can this item, doctor, reverse this debilitating and embarrassing condition? I am also diabetic. Yes.
Ah, well, here's where it gets interesting, because colostrum by itself helps to promote cardiovascular health, okay, circulatory system health throughout the body. Okay, not only does it do that, but there's a lot of research on balancing your body's chemistries. Once you start getting into that unbalanced chemistry arena, then you find that there's a cascade of things, right? You go to your doctor and they go, oh, you're a little overweight, you got to do this, you got to do that, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you better exercise. They have this long plethora of maybe things that we should have been doing to begin with, but do we really catch up with that, or do we just kind of, shrug and go, gosh, I wish I could have, would have, should have? Well, why not get a jump start in balancing, right? Balancing and supporting healthy blood pressure, cardiovascular, circulatory issues, right? And balancing out those chemistries which stimulate all of the things that life's worth living for.
Get rid of that post. Yes, and if you don't mind, doctor, I'd like to say that if you notice what he said, who was it, Eric, the cardiovascular structure, the plumbing of your body. Let's say you're diabetic. It's really handicapped. It's the plumbing system just is not going to work as well efficiently. Your blood pressure will be off. Your blood flow will be off. The fluid movement in your body, the pedestrian movement of your intestinal tract, the perfusion movement of your blood, any liquids in your body, you'll end up, it just won't move. It's like a pond.
Yep.
I would never drink from a pond. That's why they call it pond scum at the bottom. I would only drink from a fast-moving river because it's carrying a lot of nutrition versus a lot of bacteria. You need to work on the cardiovascular structure of your body. You're diabetic, that's number one. Number two, this product will definitely, people say, will it help with this? Will it help with that? Family, it will help with everything. You're talking about the foundation of your existence.
Yep.
Everything is a domino of effect from the moment that you're born and you put this inside of you through your mother's milk. If you don't do it, you're going to suffer. You've seen children grow up sickly. For that matter, adults. The next question is from George. My last blood drew. Oh, by the way, speaking of blood, may I suggest that if you want, if you've already done a blood test, great. I do one every 3 months. Do a blood test before or after, preferably before. And then when you use these products for a few months, do another blood test. Invest some money in your health. And you're going to notice a dramatic improvement. Trust me. George is asking, doctor, my last blood drew that was drawn. It said my immune system was off and gave vitamins to help. I need your help. I have a rash on both of my arms and itchy. Once again, the reason why you have eczema, psoriasis, acne, this itchiness that you're talking about is because, again, your immune system is not. Your skin is the largest organ in your body.
Yep.
Your skin breathes. That's part of your breathing mechanism, bringing in oxygen and taking out CO2. Did you ever see that movie Goldfinger? That James Bond movie. Remember that? Yeah. And the girl was all covered in gold. Remember? They had her on the bed and she was all gold. Well, that was a big mistake. That woman suffered a lot. She almost died. Yeah, you can look this up because they plugged up all of her pores.
Or
Stupid. You were suffocating her. Isn't that amazing? So I think that answers that question for George. So let's go to the next one, Doctor, because we're really running out of time, pressing time here. Tammy says, Doctor, does it help with chronic and stage systolic heart failure? This was discovered by accident. I feel fine now, and they say that my husband, I guess this is about her husband, that he's sick, and I'm asking, can this help? Doctor?
the answer to that question is there's the captain, literally the captain of the ship. There's a substance called IGF-1. It's one half of what is considered HGH. HGH is comprised of IGF-1 growth hormone. Now, that's synthetically made. IGF-1 literally has an impact on every cell and every system in your body, period, across the board. There's so much research that shows IGF-1 in its normal whole food state can have a major impact on regeneration. Now, I take 15 colostrum capsules every day. I take my Limousin every day. And I also do powders, and I do those at night. I pack them in the lining of the gum. I brush my teeth. I get ready for bed. And before my head hits the pillow, I pack it in like a chew, like a chipmunk. Now, there's a very specific reason for that. The women in my family, literally, I think they lived forever. My mama was 108. My granny was 100. My aunt was 101 when she passed. And they literally have exceptionally long longevity genes, right? The men, not so much. My dad had his first bypass when he was 43. My uncle died at 48. All of the rest of my uncles, by the time they were in their mid-70s, they were gone. And all from heart attacks. Now, do I have a bad heart? No. I like preventative measures. I like putting the things in my body that my body responds to pre having any of those issues, right? So I'm looking for that cardiovascular health. I'm looking to have a stronger immune system and cellular, communication. I want all of that wrapped up into a whole food. And I want energy. Well, anytime that you mess with the ticker, your energy falls, your focus falls, your oxygen falls. There's a lot of issues when it has to do with your heart. Well, why not put into the body those building blocks that have a major, like Laminaria japonica in Limousin, has a major impact on cardiovascular health. It has a major impact on joints and healthy respiratory function. And acetyl-L-carnitine, oh my goodness, there's been so much research on the brain and heart and muscles, but today is a very different day. They used to say, here, take some acetyl-L-carnitine. Now they say, take 1,000 milligrams at one time. What you're doing is you're focusing that little amino acid to promote the brain, the heart, and the muscles. Well, that's what we've done with Limousin. You don't get a couple of milligrams. You get 1,000 milligrams per dose. Couple that with the growth factors that are naturally found within a whole food colostrum, and boy, you have a 1-2 punch on the heart.
Get rid of that guy. I already did. Alrighty, Doctor. We have Sherry. She says, I have that spare tire, Doctor. I don't have any energy. I feel fatigue, and my immune system, I have problems with it. I'm not diabetic, but which product would I benefit from?
Short run, Limousin is going to have a major, especially on your energy.
I agree.
I literally have so many people that reach out to me, and I do. I tell folks all the time, reach out. I'll say hi, right? But Limousin, I literally have 87% of the people. That was one of the questions that we asked 2,000 people. The number one response was, I'm now focused, and my energy levels, I'm out doing life again. I'm in my yard. I'm walking with my significant other. I'm doing things with the grandkids. I'm doing things for myself. Well, that's Limousin, because listen, we all want long-term wellness. But if you can spike the punch with some really good short-term wellness, now there's long-term there with Limousin as well. But a lot of folks come back and go, how do I get my energy? Try one sachet, literally one sachet, and 1 ounce of water, and watch what happens.
We have Peggy asking, I have hypothyroid. Will this product help me? Oh, yeah.
Well, again, anytime that your body's out of balance, whether you're hyper or hypo, that means you're out of balance, right?
Yes.
Something in your system has not been given to your cells so that they can do and function appropriately. Well, put those 700 different reasons back, or those nutrients back into that body, and watch it repair, rebuild, and regenerate the different systems throughout the body.
I like that. I agree with that. Everything, family, everything starts at that baseline, and it's really important that you can consider this limo. By the way, limo, what the doctor was talking about, limo is the Hawaiian word, the Polynesian word for a seaweed.
Yep.
You're going to get a lot of vitamins and mainly minerals. You're going to get a lot of minerals that you don't get from your food or from the ground nowadays, because this is coming from an ocean source, from a seaweed source. We have another question from Virginia, a good one. She says, I have Lyme disease, and of course I have co-infections from the Lyme disease. What will help me?
Now, that one's where when you walk out into that forest and you get bitten by that particular tick, right? And that tick, what it does is it starts to allow your body to start attacking the host. Well, number one, you want to be able to put three different things back in there, right? You want to put, there's a substance called proline-rich polypeptides. There's literally over 100,000 studies on balancing and maintaining a functional immune system, not overactive. Overactive is what's happening to you right now, where your immune system literally is attacking you, the host, okay? You don't want it underactive because you want to be able to fight off the stuff that's still trying to get in. But that's one half of it. If we can help balance that immune system, that's one half. It's also that other half is all the collateral stuff, right? That's the collateral damage that bug walking through the forest gave to you. Well, that's where limu comes in. That's where colostrum comes in, because both of those things are very specific. Colostrum has the proline-rich polypeptides to help balance, right? Activate development, maintenance of that immune system. But then you also want to be able to have that energy, because so many people that have been walking through the forest and been bitten by that tick, their energy levels go right through the floor. They can barely almost get out of bed anymore. And what happens is, if you can't get out of bed, even if you have a functional immune system, life isn't there, right? Don't just live well. And that's where that couple of colostrum and limu, one, you're going to start working on taking and putting your own immune system into a balanced state. Those natural growth factors that are found in both products are going to start to get into the system and start to regenerate, right? Plus, you want to get energy. You want to have that ability to go out and take the walks with those significant others, or play with the grandkids or the dogs, or whatever the case may be. Don't just live, but live well. And that's what those two products do for you.
Doctor, we have a lot of questions. I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut it. We're down to about 8-9 minutes here, but let us continue, because these are some good ones. Like, for example, Regina is asking, I have Addison's disease. My adrenal glands have completely atrophied. Is there a chance to re-stimulate them, to bring them back to life?
I'm going to tell you that I've seen some amazing things, and I've experienced some amazing things with these two products. Okay. Now, if I cut off my arm, will either one of these regrow that arm? No, it's not going to do that. But on an internal basis, that endocrine system, those glandulars that are living within us, hopefully living within us, they always need the right types of foods. Now, I'm not talking about the nutritional value that you eat. I'm talking about the right kinds of foods that the good Lord provided in these two, if you will, components. Colostrum is definitely one. Limu Z with its Laminaria japonica and fucoidan and some of the other things that are there. When you start taking and putting building blocks into a body that it hasn't seen those building blocks in a long time, body begins to, it doesn't, stop the memory. Those receptor sites remember the days when everything was communicating and being, those building blocks were doing their jobs. They remember that. You just may not be producing enough of those building blocks for the body to then take those building blocks and regenerate. Well, that's where those natural growth factors, that's where fucoidan, Laminaria japonica, and zeolites, the clinoptilite, removing those detoxifying unwanted heavy metals and toxins. That's where your body starts to say, wait a minute, I remember those building blocks. And then they start putting them back to work.
Here's a very quick question, sir, with a yes or no answer. She has an allergy to shellfish. Is there any shellfish products in your products?
No.
Good. The next question is from TikTok. Will this help those that are going through dementia? And I like that because my father has dementia. He's going to be 88 years old tomorrow. He was a prisoner of war, and they beat him senseless in the head with a grease gun and an M1 rifle to the point where it took many years for him to, come back. And he suffers from bipolarism. But now at his age, he's also into dementia issues. So, doctor, would this help people with dementia? I think the answer is definitely yes. You gave a testimony yourself. Go ahead.
What I'm going to tell you is this. Do me a little favor. Go to scholar.google.com or just go on the internet and write in proline-rich polypeptides space dementia or Alzheimer's. I think what you're going to find for yourself is that proline-rich polypeptides, and they really haven't even come out in the marketplace yet. They're there, but they're not big yet. I think you're going to find that the research that you're looking for is right there all over the internet.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Pastor's wife, Cody, once again. Will this help people who have chronic allergies, constant sinus infections, etc.? And I think you gave an answer when you talked about the sinus size and what it does. Go ahead.
Absolutely. The thymosin, literally, it's called thymosin, and there's an alpha and beta, right? And it stimulates activation and the development, but also the maintenance of that immune system or the immune response. Now, you throw thymosin and then you throw in proline-rich polypeptides, which work on that overactivity. Overactivity is nothing more than something in the air that you breathe in, that your body says, wait a minute, that's an outside agent, let's go to war, right? Well, that's an overactivity. Well, each one of us breathe that same air. What a lot of us don't go through is where the body says, time out, we're going to attack ourselves. What we want to have is a normal response. We want a balanced response, not an overactive response where, hey, let's attack the host. Well, that's where thymulin comes in, that proline-rich polypeptide comes in, IgA and mucosal surfaces come in, right? Because it says, hey, wait a minute, time out. That's just something that got in. We don't need to attack the host. We just need to balance it.
Copy that. Carlos, you're asking another question about ED. Yes, we've already answered that. Please rewind the video and you'll learn a lot about that. And Darcy is saying, will this product help with diamond back fan syndrome? Diamond black fan syndrome.
Well, that one, I'll be very honest with you. That one's one there's no little bell going off that we've done any kind of research with.
Gotcha.
So I can't tell you.
But when you stop and think, go ahead, sir.
If it is an autoimmune, and I use this
Bingo.
in a very general sense, okay?
Yes.
There are over 150 different autoimmune scenarios that are out there now, okay? That will range anywhere from skin to sinuses to heart to blood chemistries to almost name it. We didn't used to have that, right? We didn't used to have all of the different autoimmune scenarios that we do today. Why? Well, from the pollutants and everything else that are in the air, the water, the foods, to the exposure of being just inside an enclosed environment, right? Now you take the different factors, like protein-rich polypeptides being one, IGF-1 being another, platelet-derived growth factors being others, that have an impact on not only cleaning up the collateral side of that, but working on that overactivity. Anytime that we can balance a system, that's half the battle. The other half is making sure you have enough of those natural growth factors, because they literally are the cleanup crew. Those are the things that go in and regenerate, right? If you ever meet me in person and you say, I love this, it's kind of funny, pull up your pants, right? And I show people my leg. Now, I've had a lot of surgeries. You would think I would have a lot of scar tissue, but I don't. You see, when you put balance back in, even that thickness around scar tissue starts to balance itself out. You can see where I've been cut many, many times during surgeries, but I don't have, and many other people don't have, that thickness to a scar tissue. Well, if you feed the body the building blocks so that it takes that buildup and disperses it, gets rid of it, well, you live a better life, right? Because that's part of the inflammation process. That's part of joints hurting. That's part of skin hurting. Well, take and balance it, and a lot of that does tend to go away.
Well, Doctor, I think we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up. I just thank you from... Oh, by the way, I just put up John's phone number. Is it possible that our listening audience can also communicate with you, sir? Can John...
With me?
Yes, with you, Doctor.
Oh, absolutely. I tell people all the time, I believe it or not, I get a lot of folks that will friend me on Facebook, okay? And they'll reach out and they'll say, is this Dr. K? Absolutely. How you doing? What can I answer for you? We're not just here to have a product, right? We're here to actually lend a helping hand to people who may not be getting a helping hand from anybody else out there, especially in the medical side of things.
How true.
Right?
How true.
Anthony L. Kleinsmith, and reach out. You'd be surprised at how many conversations. Now, I will tell people, I usually get on Facebook and I love the History Channel. But I usually get on once I get home or after 6 o'clock. But I'm talking to people, I probably usually carry on 5 or 10 or even 15 conversations with different folks through Facebook.
And can they call this number we have, 479-414-5387?
That's my number, Frank.
Uh-oh. But that's okay. I'm allowed to give that out, right, John?
Amen, you are.
And then, Doctor, should they call that number to make an appointment with you, or what should they do?
Now, remember, I'm not a practitioner. I love the research side, right?
Right.
I have been seriously blessed in my life to have been hooked up with some very instrumental people from Cornell, from Rutgers University. But yeah, they can go ahead and reach through John, and I'll chat with anybody at any time.
Well, gentlemen, and also I believe the lady's name was Misty or Missy? Misty? I want to thank you,
Misty.
There she is.
Thank you for having me, Frank.
Thank you, Misty, because you gave us a testimony. Oh no, we just lost them, all three of them. Okay, let's see if we can get John back on, family. I'm so sorry we got disconnected, but we're closing it up anyways here. Hey, John, see if you can. We got disconnected. You can bring him back on to say goodbye, but I'll wrap it up while you bring him back. How's that?
I'll get the doctor.
Yeah, we should be.
I'm sorry. I had a weird call that called in showing your number.
They do that. There are a lot of bad people here on the internet, and we had one right now that made a bad comment, and of course we got rid of them. But what they do is they take my phone number and they use that number to appear on somebody else's phone number, and when they answer, they say, "Hi, this is Frank 26. You're full of this, and you're this, and this, and this." It's just bad, evil spirits that are promoting Satan's way of life. We have nothing to do with that,
Well,
but
I'll get the doctor back, and I'm
yeah.
sorry about that. It just
If you want to get Misty back on too, you're welcome to. I want to thank Misty because she gave a testimony, ladies and gentlemen, that came from her heart. She talked about her family. It didn't come from her pocket. You know what I'm saying? She's not sponsored under you, me, with anything like that. She came here to tell you something because she believes in this. And by the way, these products are affordable. You cannot afford not. You can't afford not to take them. This is the foundation of your existence. This is the core of your health. Without this first step, the next step is bottomless. You will never catch up with your own issues, your own problems, your own medical you'll see. Well, what am I saying? You're going through that now. If it isn't because of the way they feed us, the food industry could care less about you and your health. The food industry is connected with the medical industry and the insurance industry. They feed you garbage. 5 major organizations. Let's just take, I don't know, meats.
Hello?
Hold on. Let's just take meats. Tyson Corporation is the only place where you can get your meat. Okay? Hot dogs, steaks, filet mignons, whatever it may be. Tyson runs all the meat in the American industry. That's a monopoly. The same thing with vegetables, the same thing with fish, anyways. And these 5 industries, they don't care what you eat and how they process it and give it to you. It's your job to read the labels. And even when you read the labels, they're so misleading. This is organic. No, it's not. Well, 10% of it is organic, and according to the FDA, we can say the whole thing is organic. Well, that's not right. Yeah, well, who cares? This is does not have any hormones or chemicals. You mean the chicken I'm eating? Yeah. Did you inject the egg? Yes, we did, with hormones. But we didn't inject the chicken. What? We did not inject the chicken, and we did not inject the egg, but we did inject the food we're giving them. And we can still say that it's, chemical free. This is insane. So the food industry knows you're going to get sick around 60 to 65, all right? Someone's going to cough up. Someone's going to break in you. You go to the doctor. What's the doctor say? Chemotherapy. Why? Because that's the biggest way they make money with the insurance industry. Anything that you send to the insurance industry with chemotherapy, okay, granted, got it, it's done, no, approved, no problems. Don't you want to ask questions, insurance company? No, it's chemo, right? Yeah, got it. We make a bazillion off of that. You kidding me? No questions asked. And that's the problem with our society today. It's also infected our government. They act the same way. We got Biden, what's his name? President Biden, China guy, the Mr. China virus. He's telling that the media, you cannot come down here. No, that only happens in communist countries. Don't let them do that to your food that you eat. And protect yourself with this product that we're bringing to you. It's affordable. And it'll start at the very core, at the very base. You take it for a few months and see what happens. Anyways, I get passionate, I get emotional because I'm fighting for my life. Every day of my life, I fight for it. In one more day, I will complete 11 months. Next month is my 12th month, a year, when they told me in Hawaii. A little small Filipino doctor that came up and says, "Sir, you have a tumor this big in your bladder. You have cancer." To this day, the floor in that doctor's office is still stained red because all the blood rushed from my head out of my body onto that floor. But God, in His infinite wisdom, allowed me to honor and glorify my Father because of this. And I have gained knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that not even Solomon probably knew. In order to defeat the enemy, you must know him well and keep him close to you. I know this subject well of cancer. But we're not here to tell you that this product is going to heal you from cancer or anything. No. We're here to tell you that the human body desperately needs this product. Now take it to God in prayer and you make the decision. I love you. And I want to say goodbye. Doctor, are you there?
I am.
I'm very proud of you. I thank you. I like your demeanor. I like your style. I love your product. I also know that you make everything in your own laboratories and your own processing. That tells me a lot. I don't have to worry that you're putting in garbage. You're making sure you know everything that goes into your products. Thank you, sir, for this product. Go ahead and say goodnight to the family.
Family, good night and have a very wellness evening. And the rest of the week. Happy Easter to everybody.
Thank you, Doctor. John, are you there?
Yes, I am.
I'm very proud of you, sir, because you've
I
been...
was going to tell you Misty's there too.
Yes.
But just
I tell you what, let's go to Misty. I didn't know she was there. Ladies always should have honor. So, Misty, are you there?
I'm here, Frank.
Ma'am, you gave us a testimony from your heart, not your pocket. That meant a lot to us because you told us something that was very important to you. Your family, your children, this product has helped you. I want to thank you so much for coming tonight. Okay?
Yes, it has, and thank you so much for having me on there to be able to share it.
Indeed. If I can ever do anything for you, know that you have a friend in me for an eternity, okay?
Thank you, Frank. You take care.
God bless you. And John, thank you, sir, for bringing this product into my life because I must admit, everyone that I've been showing it to, they're all very impressed. I'm actually thinking now of taking this to all of my doctor friends and telling them, you better subscribe this or I'm going to punch you in the nose, you know. Well, maybe not like that.
And I wanted to remind everybody, too, because I don't think we mentioned that, Dr. Kleinsmith believes in his products so much that, you know, he offers a 90-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Ooh. If you don't feel like, you know, you're having results or that you like the product.
Really? A 90-day?
Yes.
Family, you
sir.
got 3 months to try this product. Save the bottle, save the receipt. If you honestly feel it didn't work, get your money back. But in 3 months, I promise you, those of you that are sitting in your couch, you're going to get up and do the Watusi. You're going to shake your booty. I promise you. You'll see. Anyways, thank you, Doctor. Thank you, John. And thank you, Misty. And we'll see you guys. We'll do this again, okay?
Yeah, and Frank, would you mind putting my email on there too, so if they wanted to email me instead of call me?
Roger that. Hold on just a second. Let me get that piece of paper here. Give me your email and I'll write it out. Go ahead.
It's just the number 71 and then South, SOUTH, at gmail.com.
Wow. That makes it simple. And
there you go.
There you go. Thank you, John. God bless you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Mr.
God bless.
Bye-bye,
Thank everyone on the family, and just appreciate everything, and do have a very blessed and happy Easter.
Roger that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's my site. It's called frank26.anovate.com. And Anovate is spelled ANOVITE.com. Or you can call me. My phone number is 419-283-2552. Or you can call John, 479-414-5387. Or you can email John as well, 71south@gmail.com. Well, there it is. That's our infomercial for tonight. It went a lot longer than I thought, an hour and 15 minutes. And I did promise you that I would talk to you tonight. So let me do just that. I want to start out by telling you that thank you for your prayers. Thank you. Know that my wife and I, we pray for you every day. I pray throughout the whole day. I have to. We get about 1,000 phone calls per week. And my wife has been helping me lately, but I carry the load of answering every call. And every call is different. Some people may want to buy dinars. Yeah, I'm a registered agent with a licensed broker with the United States Treasury. I can sell dinars. When you call me, by the way, I can't give you any opinion about it. I can do it here. This is a public venue. I can express my opinion until the Democrats take that away from me, too. But on the phone, no. No, because they can record my phone calls. Yeah. And when you call me, it's only to buy the product, or excuse me, to buy the currency, not to ask me a single question about that. I reiterate that because I think it's important. A lot of you think, oh, well, he's being nasty. He's being mean. He doesn't want to answer my question. No, I'm telling you the truth. I know you don't want to get me in trouble, do you? What happened is that a week ago from today, it was about a week ago, last Wednesday, 7 days ago, they operated on me again. This is my fourth operation. And they went inside of me and they scraped the wall of my bladder to do a biopsy. And then they also changed my stents. But this time, the doctor had difficulty in changing my left stent. And the operation was supposed to be a little over an hour. It ended up being about 2.5 hours, twice as long. And unfortunately, they were going to give up. But thank God, at the very last second, he said, he introduced a dye into me. And he was able to find the orifice of the ureter where he was able to put the stent, take it out and put the new one in. So it was rough. It was brutal. They tore me up and I was in great pain for a while. Today, I feel that I'm capable of being with you. Yesterday, that was the first time I ever canceled a UB2B. Ever. The first time I ever canceled a Monday conference call, ever in our 12 years together. I've sat in front of you before in great pain and didn't let you know about it. But yesterday, I was still suffering from the anesthesia. I looked at my wife and I said, hey, George, do you think that we... And she's like, what? I slept on the couch last night, too. I went, no, I did not. No, just kidding. I love you, Jan.
Love you too.
Okay. But anyways... Yeah, it was brutal, and that's why we canceled yesterday. And I'm here with you today to give you some more information. And by the way, by the blood of Jesus Christ, I'm healed, I'm saved, I'm forgiven. And I praise God for that. You see, when Jesus was on the cross, he was God. He was God when he turned to his Father and he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But when he was on that cross, he turned to God and he says, Father, why have you forsaken me? At that moment, he was a human being. On that cross, he was a God. And on that cross, he was a human being. But the thing is that Jesus Christ died for my salvation on that cross. And it's sad that there's so many churches right now, so many institutions and people that still want to practice the old law. Why do you insult God that way? Why do you insult God that way? He died for you on the cross. That terminates the old law. You want to follow 10 commandments, you want to practice Sabbath and do that, fine. But don't think that that's your salvation. Absolutely not. You're wasting your time and you're insulting what Jesus did on that cross by staying with the old law. What, you really? You sacrifice a goat in order to pray to God? Is that what you do? Well, my point is, we need to fear God. And that type of fear for God is respectful. But that type of fear for God is found on your knees. I put Jesus on the cross. It was because of me that he went to that cross. I put him on that cross for my sins to be forgiven. And every time that I willfully sin, I'm putting him back on that cross. I'm sorry, I did not mean to get into this topic, but yes, I did. The thing is that I was trying to say is that I always pray throughout the whole day. And I'll always give a testimony to God throughout the whole day. So yeah, I did mean to do what I just did. But let's get to work. And let's see if we can finish in about 15 minutes. I was going to take you and show you all the final articles. Hey, babe,
Yes.
would you bring up the final article threads? here on that. If, the second to the last page, if you would, okay? At the very top. Now, I'm going to really strongly suggest to you, you need to be a member of my form. Here, I wrote this out. I might as well write this out too. KTFalways.com. It's simple. All lowercase. I wrote it big there. And when you go there, you just go all the way to the very top of this is our landing page if you're not a member with us. Go all the way to the top and click on the little button up there on top that says join now. I think that's what it says. And then you just simply fill out 3 questions. 3 questions, okay? Number 1, call yourself something polite or you'll get rejected. Number 2, a password. That's between you and the computer. And number 3, an email. So we can always identify you inside of our form. We're going on about 60,000 members at KTFA. And this process has worked fine, but every now and then, people just don't read at the bottom. It says, okay, now that you've done these 3 things, wait 24 hours. Let our staff make sure it's not spam, it's not a bad name. We'll send you an email. Come on in, then use your password and your username. Now, if you screw that up, you end up calling us. And when you call us, it drives us nuts. I can't get in. I don't know. Your system is messed up. There's nothing wrong with us. It's just you didn't follow the rules. But anyways, sign up and come in and go here. This is what you'll see. This is what it looks like when you come to our form, okay? Well, actually, this is if you're a member, but it's similar to this. And we have all of our phone numbers and meetings and all of our products there. And then you come to all of our tabs. You can find us with no problem. Now, there is this thread that's called Final Article Thread. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the heartbeat of your study. You need, we're copied and pasted all over the place. I wish they would copy and paste this. Some of them do. This is where you need to go. Now, I was going to spend the time and go over this. Now, look at what we do. We highlight things in red that you need to see and read out of these important articles. Look at that. Look at these. Then, as you can see, let me blow it up a little bit. Then, we also further highlight it. We use a color coordination, a color coding that tells you what's important in these articles and what's secondary or tertiary in your study. These articles, ladies and gentlemen, are powerful. In the last 3 days, oh my word, about 100 articles have come out, all talking about the exchange rate. You got hold on. Look at all these beautiful, look at the way the cutter, look at that. Look at that work that our staff does for you. Oh, you just got to have a will to want to study. A true will to really want to study. And not to have somebody hand feed you or just to ask the question, when is it going to happen? What? Don't get drunk with that desire to know when's it going to happen. Understand what you're doing. This is epic. One day you'll tell your children about this. This whole final article thread would be the best way to show it to them. Look at these titles, by the way. All of them are talking about the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar. Look at this. Every one of these, all of them, about the Iraqi dinar exchange rate. Did we not tell you this about 2 weeks ago, 2 Mondays ago? Ladies and gentlemen, the next thing you're going to see is a plethora of articles that are going to come out where they're going to be talking about the exchange rate once again. Okay, well, the last few weeks, Frank, they've been talking about lifting the 3 zeros. Well, look at your notes. Did we not tell you about 4 weeks ago? Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see a plethora of articles that are going to talk to you about lifting the 3 zeros from the exchange rate. Oh, yeah, you did tell us that. And you saw it, right? Yeah. Then we told you, you're going to see a plethora, not of lifting the 3 zeros, but of the exchange rate itself. You're seeing them, right? Hundreds of them, right? Yeah. Especially if you belong to our form. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what is it about these articles that's so important? And we separate them for you so you can understand. You've got. How many times have I said over and over? Where is that note? I wrote it down somewhere here, and I said, "Look, you have to remember. We told you this so many times. Oh, here it is. Only listen. Only listen. Only listen to number one. I like things in threes, right? Only listen to the Prime Minister Kazemi from Iraq. Not some other idiot from some other country like Iran. Number two, only listen to the CBI governor, Mustafa. Now, that can be confusing because Kazemi's first name is Mustafa too. Mustafa Kazemi, whatever. But you know who the CBI governor is, and I just shorten it by calling him Mustafa. Not some advisor from the CBI. Not some consular that thinks he knows what he's talking about. It turns out that we lowered the value of the Iraqi dinar, and we're not going to change it. No, don't touch it. What do you mean, don't touch it? Don't touch it. CBI says we're going to keep that rate of, 1460 all year. No, make it 4 more years. How's that? Huh? Does that crawl up your underwear pretty good? Good, because that's what we're supposed to do. What, you forgot what Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and all these other people did? Silly rabbit. Look what China did. Look what they all do. So some spokesman, some representative, some peon from the CBI comes out and says, nope, no what? Nope, no what? Nope, we're not going to change the exchange rate. We lowered it and we're going to keep it there. Up yours. Who are you? I'm a spokesman. For what? The bathroom? No, what? No! Listen to me. And what it is a jerk from Parliament. It is a jerk from Parliament that's making these CBI comments. Oh, you expect honesty from the media? Why do you think we do this work for you? You need to belong to our forum. You need to get in there. It's free. Get in and look at the final article thread and understand every day. You know how much work it takes to do this every day? By the way, I don't even think Claire has put out the articles from today. There's about 9 more articles that are going in from today. What Claire does, she highlights them, she puts them in red, she puts the numbers on them, and she puts them in there. Thank you, Claire. For you, for your study, for your understanding, so that you don't sit there and go, oh, when's it going to happen? That's not the issue. The issue is we told you some things. You're seeing them exactly as we told you. Now, the last thing we told you is what? Phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase 1 is in concrete. You don't want to believe that? Fine. I took off yesterday because of my health, but I also took it off because it was easy to do. What, do you want me to repeat to you phase 1, 2, and 3? We're always ahead of the curve, and you know that. And everything we tell you always comes about. Number 1, pay attention only to the Prime Minister of Iraq, Kazemi. Number 2, only pay attention to the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq. We got a few articles in there from the governor, by the way. You know what he said? Hey, what? What? This is so confusing. This is all. Don't pay attention to the rumors. Don't pay attention to the lies. Really? Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq? I wish I would have said that. Oh, well, you did, Frank. I wish somebody would have listened. Yeah, I know. Now, I know it's confusing. Well, which ones do I pay attention to, Frank? But I just tell you, we do the work for you. Get in here. And number 3. Walking sticks intel. It's never failed you. It's never failed you. By the way, hoorah, he thanks you so much. Tomorrow we'll be sending him money so that he can get his next pile of pills. They're going to make an opening in the back of his head, right about here, right underneath the pineal gland. Pardon me. No, it's in the cranial. I forgot. It's right about, here's the ear, about 1 inch, right here. They're going to make a hole in his cranial cavity. The reason why is because they found another tumor that's on the occipital nerve of the right eyeball. And it's causing him he can't see from one eye. And the other one's already fuzzy enough as it is. So they're going to go in there to relieve the pressure. And we're praying that the medication that he's taking will deal with this with these tumors. So you pray for Walking Stick. And thank you, all of you that have helped him financially. Sincerely, he would not be with us if it wasn't for you. Thank you. So anyways, 3 things. What's number 1? the Prime Minister of Iraq. Oh, hold on. Eddie just texted. Can you see that? I'm just curious. Hold on. I'm not even going to give you that report. It is so long. It is so, oh my word. And how many days has it been since I've given you his report? All right, Mr. Frank, they just announced a special agreement has been reached with the Shiites to pass the budget, but they told us the last 2 days that the Kurd issue resolved. It was the exchange rate. Mr. Frank, it was the exchange rate that was the issue. Now they're saying that the Shiites agree on Kurds' part of budget. Very confusing. Look, I ain't going to show this to you. This is too hot for me to share with you. But you're going to see this. In fact, I think it's already in our final article thread. Hold on a second. Yeah, you see, the Shiites, and they said, well, the Kurds have problems with, what's going on with the budget. No. Okay, well, if it's not the Kurds, then it's Kazemi, the Prime Minister. No. Okay, hold on. It's the CBI. They're messing up. No. So both CBI, the governor, and we have it in our final article threads, and the Prime Minister come out and say, look, stop listening to those rumors. We're taking care of things. We know what we're doing. The CBI says hey, concerning the exchange rate, up yours, pick a finger, because only we have the authority to say anything about that. Oh, okay. Only we have the authority to change it if we want to. Oh, okay. Why would you say that? Because we're doing that. Stop listening to that crap. And that's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Parliament is filled with illiterates. They can't even read. They don't have an education. I've already given you the example of that. You got Head of Mabif sitting there, and he turns to his cousin Ali. He says, Ali, hey, we need representation for our area here. What do you think? Maybe we send our cousin, Ali Jr. Huh? Ali, hey, stop messing with the camels. Come over here. We're going to vote for you. You're going to go to Parliament. You're going to represent our district, okay? But uncle, I know I cannot read. Who cares? Just say yes, no. That's all. You do what Iranian people, they're paying us, right? Okay, just like Democrats getting money from China. Yeah, so they're paying us, okay? So we're going to send you. We don't need education. Get on the camel. Now go to Parliament and represent our district. And that's what Parliament is. It's a bunch of illiterate, uneducated representations of different tribal sects from Iraq that are all Iranian influence because their pockets are being filled with Iranian influence. Does this sound familiar? So they come out and they say, "Oh no, it's never going to happen. Oh no, they're not going to raise the VAT. Oh, it's going to stay that way." And then they put spokesman. What the heck is a CBI spokesman? I never heard of that one. That's like, this is from the president-elect office. What's that? Never mind. So family, I can't make it any clearer. There's only, 3 places where you need to pay attention to. The Prime Minister of Iraq, the governor of the CBI, and our intel at KTFA that has never failed you. Walking Stick and I had a long conversation today, and he says, Frank, you got to know that the CBI is still in meetings right now. I said, they are. But Walking Stick, I thought they were done and they had a date and everything. Why do you think they're in meetings, Frank? Well, they're preparing for that date. Damn right. Who are they meeting with? You call it the Fab Four. Oh, the IMF, the World Bank, the United States Treasury, and, well, it's no longer the president. And he says, blankety blank, no, it's the BIS. I said, oh. Why? Because they're telling all the central banks what Iraq is doing right now in these meetings. And phase 1, like I told you, is a date that's coming because they already know. The BIS has already told everybody this. Frank, you got to tell your KTFA family, your members, ignore the rumors. Doggone it. Ignore the rumors. Ignore Parliament, which is Iran. And he gives me a great line, and we're just about ready to finish up here. He gives me a great line, and he says, Frank, he who denies the loudest has the most to hide. All of Parliament? Yes. CBI ain't talking very much. No, Frank, they're meeting. They're about to come out and on a certain date and explode their country with a new currency, a new value. So, Walking Stick says that he who denies the loudest has the most to hide. He also told me, Frank, he who denies the most has the most to hide. So, all I know, ladies and gentlemen, is that this blessing is coming. I mean, I have no doubt in my teams in Walking Stick, none whatsoever. And it was easy for me to take off yesterday. Eddie's report, if I had a chance to read it to you, just right there, he just talked about the exchange rate. They're talking to them on television about the exchange rate. He knows that it's a bunch of garbage that's out there, but he's up to here. He's fed up with it. Enough is enough, he says. You got to hear these lies every day of our lives, Frank. Eventually it works. We're confused. We don't know. But they are grateful for KTFA. They are grateful for Walking Stick in our teams. And by the way, yesterday, I told you that KTFalways.com is free. But we do have something inside of KTFA. It's called Premium. It costs $10 a month. If you can't afford it, if you sincerely cannot afford it, call me and I'll give you a month free. If you can afford it, get in here. Once you join Premium, this little blue tab, you see that blue tab? It pops up right there. That's Premium. If you don't have Premium, that little tab is not in there. But this is what happens. Boom. It opens up. And what you see here, how do I stretch this out, Tink? Oh. How do I stretch it out, honey? And what happened was that last night, I felt bad that I wasn't with you all. So I went into Premium and I loaded them up. Then I Premium. I went in, I think it was about 5 times during the day. What, honey?
You can't do it on an iPad.
Oh, it can't do it on the iPad. Oh, okay. Well, if I've turned it this way, oh, there you go. You can see, look at that. That's Premium. It's a chat room. And you have some beautiful people. And you can see right now that our transcriber is transcribing every word. Oh, somebody sent me a PM. Oh, that's Don. That's our new sound. He just sent me some of the latest articles that I have to study now. But yeah, that's Premium. And right now, our transcriber is taking notes, and because there's people that work. There's people that have other engagements, couldn't be with us tonight. They go back and they read everything that we said. Anyways, family, I fear that when it becomes one-to-one on that, in my opinion, this whole conference call is in my opinion. When they reach that date that I told you about that I believe is solid, I don't know the date, but when they reach that point of one-to-one in country and out of country, I think that there'll still be people complaining. No, it's called less than 1%. They'll still be complaining. Not that they have one-to-one rate with the currency that they invested in, but they're now saying, well, how long is it going to take for the rate to grow internationally? Are you serious? You already got a one-to-one rate. Well, I'd like a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 rate. You gluttony. That's not cool. This is like a baby being born. I remember when our first child, our son, his name is Isaac. There's a reason why we named him Isaac. But anyways, I remember waiting, and I was there next to my wife as she gave birth to our son, and I was in shock. I mean, like, I'm in the medical world, but this is my boy, But prior to that, when is the water going to break, honey?
18 hours.
18 hours? You did go 18 hours with our first one. But when? And well, do you mind? Okay. And then when we're at the hospital, well, when is the baby going to cap? When is it going to come out? Do you mind? Wait. This is like a baby being born, and you don't ask the doctor, can you speed it up? You wait for the blessing properly. Haven't you prayed for this? Who did you pray to? Satan? No, you prayed to our Heavenly Father. Anovite, right? You prayed to God, correct? Okay. So you put it in his hands, right? Okay. And you got in the back seat of the car. And God is driving you to the monetary reform, okay? Why do you constantly tap him on the shoulders and say, God, are we there yet? When are we going to get there? You put it in his hands. Why do you want to snatch it out of his hands? Why do you want to rush a birth? Only the less than 1% that I deal with that causes me a lot of stress. Those are the ones that I believe that we need to pray for. And that's what I'm leading up to. We need to pray for those that want to grab, that want to snatch this blessing out of God's hands. It's God's plan to give it to you. So be strong. Be strong in all that you do and do it with God. Stay in constant prayer. And premium, I surprised you yesterday. I gave you a lot of stuff. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue because you notice that I'm not giving our Fireflies report anymore. It's been like, golly, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But instead, I'm giving it all inside of premium so that they can see it and read it and have a up to the minute. I mean, you know premium, right? I put something in there, you read it, you go, whoa. Like within the hour, there's the article. Because we got it from Iraq before the articles come out, of course, silly rabbit. Anyways, I better shut up. I have nothing new to say to you because I can't. All I can tell you is that it is happening, and it is phase one that's knocking on our doors. And I know I said, it used to be weeks. Hey, look, if I misled anybody and I gave false hope by just saying those few words, I do humbly apologize, but I expect you to be an adult in this study. I don't expect you to be childish about it and accuse me, well, yeah, you misled me. Okay, whatever. I'll see you later. Get out of here. But if you want to stay with us and pray with us and work with us and study with us, you're welcome all the way through. I love you. I wish you well. I thank you again for your prayers. My name is Frank. My phone number is 419-283-2552. Walking Stick said, they're still having the meetings, Frank, that's leading up to the date of phase one. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see these meetings in the articles. When you see that they stop talking, well, what was it? Let me see, a month ago. You're going to see articles that are going to talk about lifting the 3 zeros. For 2 weeks, you saw a mountain of them. About 2 weeks ago. Ladies and gentlemen, now they're back. You're going to now start seeing articles about them talking about the exchange rate, not lifting the 3 zeros, but about the exchange rate. There they are, hundreds of them on our forum. Ladies and gentlemen, when you see these articles stop, I would prepare myself. God bless you. Thank you kindly for being with us. Aloha. Aloha neke oe. Because you certainly are. Bye-bye now.